We face, therefore, a moral crisis as a country and a people. It cannot be met by repressive police action. It cannot be left to increase demonstrations in the streets. It cannot be quieted by token moves or talk. It is a time to act in the Congress, in your state and local legislative body, and above all, in all of our daily lives.
في 11 من آب أغسطس 1965 أوقف شرطي أمريكي أبيض شاباً أسود يدعى ماكرت فري يقود سيارته وهو في حالة ثمالة لتنتشر الشائعات أن الشاب قد قتل، ويتدفق بسبب تلك الشائعة مئات الأشخاص إلى الشوارع مقتحمين المتاجر التي كان معظم مالكيها من البيض، وتندلع أعمال عنف على مدى 6 أيام أسفرت عن مقتل 34 شخصاً.
I was 14 years old during the 1965 Watts riot, and I didn't know what was going on. I had an idea that it was sparked by police brutality. I knew that much, but to be in the middle of, I was in a housing project called Palm Lane, and it was surrounded by flame. I literally climbed up onto the baseball backstop, and I could see flames all around our units, and it was scary.
على الرغم من انقضاء كل تلك الأعوام، لم يتغير الوضع في مدن الولايات المتحدة، وتبقى علاقة الفعل ورد الفعل بين رجال الشرطة والمواطنين تحكم الأجواء. لكن هذه المرة يخلو الحدث من الشائعات.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Lawrence M. Powell not guilty of the crime of assault by force likely to produce great bodily injury and with a deadly weapon. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Timothy E. Wind not guilty of the crime of assault by force likely to produce great bodily injury and with a deadly weapon. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Theodore J. Bacino not guilty of the crime of assault by force likely to produce great bodily injury and with a deadly weapon. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Stacy C. Kuhn not guilty of the crime of assault by force likely to produce great bodily injury and with a deadly weapon.
كان ذلك في إبريل نيسان عام 1992، أي بعد مرور 27 عاماً على احتجاج مدينة واتس، حيث تمت تبرئة 4 من رجال شرطة لوس أنجلوس من تهمة الاعتداء بالضرب على المدعو رودني كينغ، اعتداء تم توثيقه بالصوت والصورة. انفجرت شوارع مدينة لوس أنجلوس بالمحتجين الغاضبين على قرار الحكم، مما دفع الرئيس الأمريكي السابق جورج بوش الأب إلى توجيه خطاب للأمة.
We must respect the process of law, whether or not we agree with the outcome.
The so-called Rodney King riots took place in 1992 when the officers were acquitted. I'm sitting looking at what's going on TV with my children who were about 8, 9, and maybe 11 about that point. And they were asking me questions, Daddy, what's going on? And I found that I had the same problem that I had when I was 14. I didn't have an answer for them.
That you guys showed this to the world to let them see how black people are treated in this country. You know, you guys do not respect us. You feel we're sub-creatures. If I went and beat you, wait a minute, sweetheart. If I went and beat your dog the way they beat this man, I'd be in jail. These guys are going out to have a drink.
Before the verdict came, matter of fact, I was standing at sheriff headquarters looking at the newscast the night that the verdicts were delivered, acquitting the cops. And right then and there, a captain told me that there's going to be a problem. Being from Compton and South Central, I didn't believe it. I figured we had one riot, nobody wanted to live through that again, but he turned out to be absolutely right.
At the time, I didn't know what was going on. I knew it had something to do with the Rodney King beating. I knew it was a lot of frustration that was going on with blacks and the police and the community itself.
الفوضى خلفت وراءها 50 قتيلا وأكثر من 800 جريح وخسائر مادية قدرت بمليار دولار، كل ذلك في 6 أيام فقط.
My initial shock over the verdicts was followed immediately by knowing and thinking that Korean store owners in South LA are going to be scapegoated over this verdict.
What they did and how they did it, like as far as Reginald Denny, it's not justified, but they were showing some type of unity to me. It was like they were working together. I didn't think that breaking up, burning up our own community was the good solution. But to me, it shows that back then, at least they cared enough to do something or try to let people understand how they felt.
بدأت شرارة الاحتجاجات في مركز باركر في وسط المدينة بالقرب من مركز شرطة لوس أنجلوس، حيث نددت الاحتجاجات بقرار الحكم لتندلع تظاهرة ثانية في فلورنس ونورماندي في منطقة هايد.
What's going on right down the street up on Central and 42nd Street when I stayed on 42nd between Central and Avalon. So they were rioting down there on Avalon and they was rioting up there on Central Avenue. So we were in the middle of it.
Because I seen it when it first happened. We were leaving, was coming home from school and I just seen them all running out the store and I'm like, what are they doing? And my mother was like, they're looting. Oh my God. Going out like, oh, let's go loot. Like, my mother was like, no, we're not gonna get involved with that. We're gonna stay in a house. My grandmother was elderly, so we had to go far out to grocery stores and white people would look at us like, what are you doing over here? We didn't have any groceries within miles, no power.
We were scared, so that is the reason why we stayed in. We were scared. We didn't want to have anything to do with it. My mother didn't even go to work because she was scared to come out on the street.
So over here was really the bad part.
اتسعت رقعة التظاهرات لتشمل كافة أرجاء المدينة، حيث سعرت نيرانها على أساس عرقي وسياسي ووضع اقتصادي متردد لتشكل هذه الموجة الوجه الحقيقي لاحتجاجات لوس أنجلوس.
People at that time really poor here area. They're living by week, day by day, whatever. You collect the money from the people. What kind of constitutional opinions you have?
They did justify it as, okay, let's just go out and do it. Some people didn't have really a motive, but the initial was anger, frustration. They were fed up.
The oppression was so strong that all you needed was a spark. And it wasn't just about police, it's about education, it's about stratification, it's about segregation, it's about a whole lot of different things. And that was the one thing that just kind of sparked everything. When you look at it, it's generally police activity that spark riots or uprisings anyway.
لم يسلم أحد من غضب الشارع. المئات تعرضوا لإصابات خطيرة وخسارة ممتلكاتهم. بالنسبة لمن عاشوها كانت أياماً يصعب نسيانها.
They're born in a town or whatever. This is everywhere in the entire world should know about what happened in the LA riot. Understandable at that time. I mean, that's the look that really sad. Now what I can say is the people who were in business here, they miss their communication though.
لم تتمكن شرطة لوس أنجلوس من احتواء الموقف أو مواجهته تحت وطأة غضب آلاف المحتجين ممن تدفقوا إلى شوارع المدينة، فقرر البعض حماية أنفسهم بأنفسهم.
On the second day or third day, when Korean store owners realized that the police were nowhere to be found, that they took up arms and defended their own stores. 700 Korean American families lost their businesses through no fault of their own overnight, and that is exactly what happened.
So we know the culture. I immigrated to South Korea when I was 17. I was in high school and I joined the Marine and Army. I was 18 years old. I was in Vietnam War in the Desert Storm for 28 years, military, retiree. So they helped come over here to people, you know what I mean? My leadership here, same thing, community. I'm a citizen too.
Yeah, we lost everything over there. It was just, you know, some mom and pop shops. Most of the mom and pop shops was burnt down. Most of those things that people lost. People were murdered. People that wasn't really out there. Like a lot of Hispanic people were murdered, beaten. That they kept quiet. They didn't really talk about it as much. It was really chaos.
What we saw last night and the night before in Los Angeles is not about civil rights. It's not about the great cause of equality that all Americans must uphold. It's not a message of protest. It's been the brutality of a mob, pure and simple. And let me assure you, I will use whatever force is necessary to restore order.
في الأول من مايو أيار عام 1992 وثالث أيام الاحتجاجات انتشرت قوات الحرس الوطني وعناصر الشرطة في شوارع مدينة لوس أنجلوس لفرض سيادة القانون.
To restore order right now, there are 3,000 National Guardsmen on duty in the city of Los Angeles. Another 2,200 stand ready to provide immediate support. To supplement this effort, I've taken several additional actions. First, this morning I've ordered the Justice Department to dispatch 1,000 federal riot-trained law enforcement officials to help restore order in Los Angeles, beginning tonight. These officials include FBI SWAT teams, special riot control units of the U.S. Marshals Service, the Border Patrol, and other federal law enforcement agencies. Second, another 1,000 federal law enforcement officials are on standby alert should they be needed. Third, early today, I directed 3,000 members of the 7th Infantry and 1,500 Marines to stand by at El Toro Air Station, California. Tonight, at the request of the governor and the mayor, I have committed these troops to help restore order.
Dealings with working in law enforcement, we had one way of doing it, military, right? They say go get, we go get.
We've got to quit. We've got to quit. You know, after all, I mean, I can understand the first upset for the first 2 hours after the verdict.
We'll get our justice. They've won the battle, but they haven't won the war. We'll have our day in court.
كان لرودني كينغ ما أراد، وتمت إدانة 2 من رجال الشرطة الذين اعتدوا عليه بالضرب، وعوض هو بقرابة $4 ملايين.
After the Rodney King, so-called Rodney King rebellion, the focus then became on law enforcement in particular. There was less of what I had seen before, and I attribute that directly to what happened in the riots.
All of Vermont is still not even rebuilt. They still haven't put decent stores or decent things in our neighborhood ever since we burnt down all of our options.
24 عاماً آخر تنقضي هذه المرة على حكم هيئة المحلفين في قضية رودني كينغ التي برأت رجال الشرطة من أي جرم وأشعلت شوارع لوس أنجلوس ليعيد التاريخ نفسه في قضية أخرى وولاية أخرى ومدينة أخرى وبراءة أخرى.
After an exhaustive, almost year-long investigation, all of the prosecutors and agents involved in this case have come to the conclusion that insufficient evidence exists to charge either officer with a federal crime in connection with this incident.
First, they shot 3 times while they were still on top of him. And they jumped off of him and screamed at him, "Get on the ground," which he was already on the ground and shot at the time. And then they released another 3 shots at him.
I came to the conclusion that no matter how many shootings we investigate, nobody on the law enforcement is going to be prosecuted or charged. We have 789 people killed in 18 years, right? Not one person has been prosecuted, charged, and placed in prison.
We need closure. We need a conviction. We need justice. Don't shoot, it's a cell phone. Don't shoot, it's a cell phone.
ما أشبه اليوم بالأمس، فما زال الشهود يروون ذات الحكاية. لتوثق كاميرا العربي احتجاجات خلت من التدمير والحرق، لكنها امتلأت بآلام ذوي الضحايا ممن قضوا على يد رجال الشرطة.
I only want justice for my son.
Yes.
And for all the families.
Yes.
We are tired.
Right. Yes.
To see these things. We need respect.
That's right.
They don't respect anybody. Right. They just kill these little boys. My boy was 14 years old.
A lot of the shootings were the same officers over and over again. One guy was involved in 7 shootings.
Shots fired, shots fired. Copy, shots fired. Show me your hands! See your hands!
I've seen people get shot 30, 40 times. I think that's excessive.
We are living in communities that are like war zones. You don't know what it's like to go to the home that you grew up in and feet from the couch you lay on, your brother was murdered in his grandmother's backyard. You don't know the pain that his grandfather feels from hearing him knock on the window for help. Let's take our outrage, but let's use it for something positive. He will not be another name added to a list.
We live in a time and day of conspiracy. A threat to the poor, a threat to the have-nots. Kill them and leave them.
Many of the problems with policing do have to do with race, not always in the sense of the bias of an individual officer, though that can be a big problem, but also because even when we ask the police to enforce the law in an unbiased, racially neutral way, the reality is that our communities are not equal in the United States, and many people of color live in communities that have very serious problems, but what the government does is it solves those problems through heavy-handed policing instead of investing in those communities and the individuals that live within them.
Community-based policing has been the decades in the making. As a result of charter reform, we have leaders that turn over on a regular basis, so they're going to be more accountable to the voters and the general public.
بحسب الشهود، استخدام القوة المفرطة من قبل الشرطة الأمريكية لم يتوقف وما زال مستمرا، وبات بالنسبة لكثيرين سلوكا ممنهجا.
When I opened the door, there were 6 guns in my face, LAPD. And so they were yelling at me, telling me to get on the ground, you know, turn around. And the whole time I'm turning around, I'm like, these people could shoot me right now and no one would know what really happened. On the way out, the cops, you know, they were leaving, and I guess he was the lead cop or the head guy, and he was like, you know, we're sorry, but the guy we're looking for, he was black.
Working for the sheriff department, I saw that there was a big disconnect between what they were doing and what was needed in the city of Compton, because that's where I raised my family, that's where I live. And it was just night and day. What they were doing had nothing to do with the realities of Compton, yet they were policing Compton.
They shot my son in the back. They murdered my child. They murdered him, they killed him, and somebody needs to do something about it. And the DA and the police commission, if they don't want to protect and serve us, they need to step down and let somebody come in who will do it.
So we needed to define what our needs are and then set the police about the job of fulfilling our needs the way we define them and not the way they define them.
I absolutely support the protests, the riots, anything to get people's attention, because I feel like this has been done so much that people are getting desensitized to it, and people it's just like an everyday thing, you know? And I have to sometimes catch myself, because when I'm going through and I see, oh, another African American was shot, I can get desensitized to it, even though I've been in that situation, and I have to check myself like, wait, this is happening again?
The problems of policing in the United States can't be fixed by the police and can't be fixed by some change in behavior in segments of the population. Ultimately, these are political problems.
And we are here to say no more. We are here to say we will not collude with racist institutions, and we will not buy into racist policing, and we will no longer buy into policing as an institution, and that it actually does not need to exist.
على الرغم من كل الأصوات التي سمعناها في هذه الحلقة، يبرز أمر واحد بشكل جلي، أنه رغم الآلام والدمار الذي عصف بمدينة واتس ومدينة لوس أنجلوس، تبقى دروس الماضي لم يستفد منها.